Hi there, and here is today's first two pages, and it is from Great North Road by one of my favourite authors, Peter F. Hamilton. Not only is this book a great read, but also great for your lockdown workout. It weighs about half a stone, so we just wave it around a bit, and I'm going to be nice and fit, aren't I? Peter F. Hamilton is an absolute favourite of mine, and he is renowned for books. This is actually unusually a one-off. He does write an awful lot of series of books, and you might get three in a series, two or three in a series, all of which are like this. One of the first series I read was a Night's Dawn trilogy, which is really good, really good. Three books, all like this. And he has this artful way of pulling together very disparate storylines. Quite often there are multiple storylines running throughout his books, sometimes seemingly unrelated, that generally kind of weave into each other ultimately. And he is really artful in the way he writes these multiple storylines, and as much as you never lose track of them, no matter how much is going on, you never actually lose track of the different threads. It's artful, it really is. He's an excellent writer. Hard science fiction, or space opera, as it's often referred to these days. And again, like Richard Morgan, who I did one of his books, it's not for the faint-hearted. It's not quite as visceral as Richard Morgan, but can get quite violent. So, without further ado, the first two pages, if I don't have a hernia while I lift it up, of Peter F. Hamilton's Great North Road. It's set in Newcastle. I'm not going to attempt a Newcastle accent. No, that would not go down well and would be awful. As midnight approached, the wild neon colours of the Borealis storm came shimmering through the soft snow falling gently across Newcastle upon Tyne. It was as if nature was partying along with the rest of the city, providing a jade and carmine light show far more elegant than any of the fireworks that had been bursting sporadically above rooftops since Friday. Detective third grade Sidney Hurst watched batches of late-night revellers staggering along the frozen pavement, calling out greetings or challenges, depending on how toxed up they were. Ice, snow and slush played havoc with the smart dust embedded in the tarmac, blacking out whole sections of the metamesh which governed the city's roads, and therefore making driving with a vehicle's smarter coup a dangerous gamble. Sid was steering the unmarked police car manually, but with the auto managing the wheel torque on the slippery road. Their snow tyres provided reasonable traction, adding to stability and allowing him to make a decent 35 kilometres per hour along Collingwood Street past the cathedral. Radar kept throwing proximity symbols across the windscreen, designating a warning for the long, filthy dunes of snow which the civic snowplows had thrown off the centre of the road. If it had been snowing, it had been snowing for 2 days now, and with the midday temperature spike sticking stubbornly below 10 degrees, there had been no thaw, allowing the elegant stone Georgian buildings of the city centre to become cloaked in Dickensian Yuletide splendour. Another proximity warning flashed scarlet, outlining a man running across the road directly in front of the car, laughing and jeering as Sid veered sharply around him. One last obscene gesture, and he was claimed by the swirling snow. "He'll never last till dawn," Ian Langerlin claimed from the front passenger seat. Sid glanced over at his partner. "Just another 201 file," he agreed. "Welcome back, me. Aye, man. Some Sunday night reunion this is." It was crazy so many people being out in this weather, though for once Newcastle's traditional nightclub dress code of t-shirt for the boys and short skirt and with glitter heels for the girls had vanished under thick ankle-length coats. It was that cold. He'd even glimpsed a few sensible hats, which was almost a first in the 15 years he'd been with the Newcastle police. Even now, married with 2 kids, a career that wasn't quite as dynamic as he'd originally envisaged, he was slightly surprised he was still in Newcastle. He'd followed a girl up here from London, where, like every 20-something law graduate, he'd been arrowing down the smart and fast career path, alternating jobs between police and private security as if he were an electron bouncing between junction gates. To consummate the grand romantic gesture, he'd applied for a transfer to the local city police, where the career track was equally valid for a couple of years, and the nights could still be spent in bed with Jacinta. Now, 15 years' worth of Siberian winters and Saharan summers later, he was still here. Married to Jacinta, which at least showed good judgment, with 2 kids and a career that had taken the kind of direction he'd always sneered at during those long, distant university years, when he'd had passion and conviction and contempt for the way of a world screwed up by the current generation in power and the omnipresent lurking evil of the Xanth. Now, experience and its associate wisdom had flicked him onto a more traditional track of time serving and networking to make the final career switch, which would see him through the last 20 years before retirement. 15 years of hard labour had taught him real life had a habit of doing that. There you go. So the first 2 pages of Great North Road by Peter F. Hamilton. It's a good read. I really enjoyed this. It's not one of his best, but he's such a superb writer. Even when you say it's not one of his best, it's still flipping good. A couple of recommendations to say this is a great self-contained read. So this is a single story. If you wanted to get into something that's a little bit more kind of continual with him, the Mindstar Rising trilogy of books, they are separate stories but have a shared protagonist, are really good. Mindstar Rising, The Nano Flower, and can't remember the third one, look it up. Again, Nightstone trilogy is very good as well, and you know there are a number of these books. They are really quite good. So I would highly recommend checking out Peter F. Hamilton. He is, like I said, one of my favourites and has this artful way of weaving all these different plot threads together. Anyway, I hope that was interesting. If you've enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, give it a share, subscribe to the channel so you can see more of these. Thank you very much. Take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye for now.